Hi, I'm Tim, welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you could see it, and you could purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. And today we are discussing the Jaeger LeCoultre Master Moon, a watch that debuted in the 1990s and was produced right up until about 2005. It's a watch that fits perfectly on any wrist, as 37mm in stainless steel with a triple calendar and a moon phase is a recipe for timeless appeal. The watch, as featured, is in a rare configuration on the factory JLC stainless steel beads of rice bracelet. Now, I owned this exact reference, albeit on a strap, and I have to say that it has an entirely different fit, feel, and presence with the bracelet. It still wears easily, as the timepiece is handsomely shaped and sized, only 37mm in diameter, so it'll wear well on a wrist as small as 13 centimeters circumference, thanks to a flat profile of 10.3mm and only 43.4mm across the wrist. This is a timepiece for which I'm not going to prescribe a lower limit wrist size. I can say with confidence that any wrist of any size can wear this watch. But with the full bracelet, you get another possibility, which is the option to wear the watch and still enjoy a robust presence even on a big wrist. And that's something that my strap-borne example did not offer. 19mm is the spacing between the lugs if you do want to throw it on a strap, but I recommend you try out this bracelet as it is a revelation. I would have loved to have had it, as I wore mine on the strap, and strap replacement costs do add up over time at a few $100s a pop. The individual links are small, and you can see that they're nicely sloped on their sides as well as their ends to create a depth effect, and you can really see that in profile. It's all of high polish, and you'll appreciate that in profile it is also beautifully polished and finished. You can see that pins are used rather than screws, as this is how JLC did its bracelets back at the time. There is a friction fit closure, as this is not a sports watch. It's a double closure with the JL logo in the center, low in profile, and somewhat more immune to desk diving scratches than thicker sports style clasps. You will appreciate that JLC went out of its way to integrate the end link with the case shape, both the curve of the lugs and the curve of the case, so it has a very integrated all-of-a-piece look. The case band is simple and strong with polish, and there's a little bit of a flared bevel that's on the edge of the lugs from the lug hoods to the flanks. There is a little bit of a bevel that flares at the end, but it's very subtle. You can see that this is a modular complication with the crowned lower and the pusher adjusters for the calendar complication reference 440 up on top. The bezel is conical, relatively flat, and low in profile. This watch will slide easily under any dress cuff. Let's give ourselves a bit more light and get a bit closer too. Now, the dial is handsome and in many ways very traditional, as JLC calendar watches from the very earliest wrist calendar watches of the 1920s, they employed a red on white print for date discs. Now, this is no longer how it's done, but up until this Master Moon model, JLC did stick to its traditions, so you will appreciate that that lovely red on white is present and correct, and it's something I always found nostalgic. It gave me warm, fuzzy feelings. There's a lovely red varnished lunette indicator for the pointer date, and that prevents the symmetry of the dial from being disrupted. It is a high quality dial with a very subtle black galvanized sunburst. It's hard to see from this angle on the camera, but it is present and apparent in person. There's a crescent style moon phase coaxial with the seconds hand, and then you have all applique numerals and tri-Arabics 9, 12, and 3, as well as diamond polished dart style indices. If you look very closely, you can see there are 4 dots of lume outboard at the 4 corners, and each one of them has a small and hairline thin red border that's just exquisite detailing, and it speaks to the level of attention and energy JLC invested in the design of this watch. You can also see that the Dauphine style hands at center are half frosted to allow better contrast and legibility against the black base. Again, they sweated the details here. Turn it all over. It is a display case back, and you can see JLC caliber 891. Technically, this is, since it's a modular complication, 891/2/440. 36 joules, automatic winding, bidirectional. You can see the reversing rocker with the twin jeweled wheels, and it beats away at 28,800 vibrations per hour, 38-hour power reserve, 36 joules, and a 6-position adjustment with stop seconds. So 6-position adjustment, one more than the chronometer standard of 5. So this is a highly regulated watch, and it features a 22 karat winding mass rather than the more traditional 21 or 18 karat. So JLC was going for maximum winding efficiency by giving you the purest rose gold winding mass for the most inertia. The watch is 50 meters water resistant, and of course I mentioned it does feature stop seconds, which is handy, and you will note that you can stop the sub-seconds and synchronize the watch precisely to a reference time. The movement is beautifully executed, as you can see, with circular Côte de Genève on the bridges as well as the rotor. Fire blued or fire annealed screws. You can see that the open barrel features a black polished cover, which is wonderful to view under a loop, and there's a satin sunburst on the rotor center around the bearing. There's also an engine turning on the base plate that's quite appealing, and although the watch is a medley of hand finish and machine finish, the fact that JLC always invested a certain amount of hand finishing and regulation on its movements means that this is truly part of the gateway family of watches that can help to introduce you to the world of true handmade high horology timepieces from great brands. This is a watch that puts it all together. Attractive, versatile, and wearable on any wrist size. It's also a modern day JLC classic. See it and make it yours on the Watchbox. And we're back with the JLC Master Moon.